get up at my dad in the street against a heavyweight.
I've gone back to the dad. I've punched him a few more times.
5 blokes outside my front door. Can you come and help
One
me?
hell of a fucking story, so stay tuned.
This is KUGAN CASSIUS for IFL TV, proudly sponsored by Everlast. It's KSI Fight Week.
Yes.
Finally, he's back. What's happening, mate?
It's good to be back. It's good to be back boxing. I've missed it, bro. I remember I was watching Jake Paul fighting, who's it, Askren and Woodley, and I could like feel it in my veins. I was just angry because I was like, "This." Everyone thinks that he's the guy when it comes to boxing, and I don't know. I felt some type of way. So I was like, I can't wait to get back. Can't wait to get back into the ring and show everyone that I mean business. And I've been working, man. I've been working for years. People think I've taken a 3-year layoff just to do music and that's it, or do Sidemen and that was it. No, I've been working on my whole boxing stance. Changing from orthodox to southpaw, being able to do certain moves, working on my balance. Making sure with my jab it's all good, making sure I'm defensively sound, just improving my boxing. Because I felt like, beforehand, with the previous fights I had, I never really got to understand boxing. It was kind of just like, I was always thrown into the deep end and I was able to swim every time. But it's like now I want to be confident and not have to rely on just my dogginess and the heart.
I was in LA 3 years ago. Such a huge event, and I think after that, for the first kind of year after that, I kind of speaking to people around you, people like Vidal and all these guys, and I was convinced that you had kind of done that and weren't going to return to the ring because you didn't need to. But I suppose back then, was it always a plan at some point you would come back?
No, I knew that me beating Jake Paul was the last, the Thanos stone that I needed. It was literally the last thing I needed to do to secure my legacy and, have me be seen as the GOAT. And, obviously Jake Paul's been doing his thing. That's all he's been focusing on, whereas I've had to deal with, YouTube Sidemen stuff, Side Plus, all the Sidemen channels, my own channel, music, and Prime, and all these other entities that I've had to focus on. But then in the background, I've just been training, just working, just buying my time and letting Jake, run his mouth, let him say this and say that. And it's funny because he's always like, oh, why am I ducking him this, ducking him that? But, I called him out first. For me, this was my game plan, to fight Jake Paul first and then fight Logan Paul after, because I saw that as the biggest fight. But Jake didn't want it, so obviously I had to go for Logan first, and then we had our battles, and then now it's Jake Paul's turn. Jake Paul has done well with the few years that he's done with boxing, but it's time for me to show that I mean business. And instantly I'm fighting 2 people in one night. One's a pro boxer, one's a guy who called me out saying you'd smoke me. So I'm there all right, cool, 2 birds, 1 stone, happy days, let's go.
Oh, right, okay. You can answer all this kind of together rather than me keep asking questions. So, from Alex Wasabi to the opponent that was originally announced, which there was, I just wanted you to address that, kind of the controversy around that, and now these 2 opponents. Could you just sum up that period?
Okay, well, it started out with me wanting to fight Alex Wasabi. Obviously, he beat my bro, and me and Alex Wasabi, we've had a lot of beef. We've had a lot of back and forth for years. A lot of new fans don't really understand, but we've been going at it for time. He's just so smug, and he just thinks he's the shit. And I'm just there like, bro, you're not. Let's go, let's fight. So when he agreed to fight, I was like, okay, cool. He's a man of his word. He's finally decided to fight, because I said I'll fly him over, or I'll go to you and spar him, this and that, and he's always chickened out. So this time I was like, all right, cool, we're actually fighting. And then he said he got a concussion. And then he had to pull out the fight, and he said, oh, I've got a doctor's note and this and that. And I'm just like, wow. So legit, this close to the fight, you started to chicken out. We had a little back and forth, or face to face, not physically, but virtually. And I think that shook him up. I think he saw how serious I was and how focused I was, and it terrified him. To the point where, yeah, I don't know, maybe he ran into a wall and said he got a concussion and said that's why he can't fight. But obviously for me, the most important thing was making sure this event continued, because this undercard is insane. We've got some big, big fights, and I didn't want, you know, Alex Usawi to ruin this. So, you know, we had someone contracted to fight next, and that was SWARMZ. So SWARMZ, he called me out. He said he'd smoke me, blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. Everyone who chats, you know, that crud online, it's all right, cool, let's back it up then. So, you know, to be fair on him, he has, you know, come through and said, yeah, let's fight, let's do it. And he's, you know, obviously making excuses already, but it is what it is. We're going to come through and we're going to fight, and I'm going to show him the levels. As simple as that. And then obviously, for me, I just felt like it was a bit lackluster. I felt like there wasn't, I don't know, I wasn't challenging myself. Like for me, fighting Alex, it was kind of just like I wanted to show the world, like, yeah, I can destroy Alex, and that's blessed. 6 rounds, happy days, easy. But then when he pulled out and it's just SWARMZ, I was like, all right, well, the opponent is just not as, it's just not as like exciting for me. So I was like, all right, cool, let me just fight 2 people in one night. Let me just do it and make one of them a pro boxer. Let me show that I'm serious about this boxing thing. And yeah, obviously we had a certain person beforehand, but he turned out to be, well, yeah, a white supremacist. So we got rid of him, cleared him out, got rid of him instantly, and replaced him with Pineda. And yeah, if anything, Pineda's better. He's a taller guy, taller than Logan, longer reach. He's a pro boxer. And yeah, he's got a good left body. You know, we've done our research on him. He's got a good left body, a decent uppercut, and he's good at finding that range as well. But I think with me, obviously, I'm gonna just have to try and get on the inside, and I'm way better at slipping and making sure that I'm going to just destroy him as well. So I want to show the levels. I even tweeted I'm going to shock the world. I know it's a little bit of a meme because Nate Robinson tweeted that. And obviously, he shot the world by being face down on the canvas. But with me, I'm going to show that I'm different. Like, I can say certain words and it's not going to make a difference.
What's the time period in between each fight you're going to have?
So, I actually thought it was going to be back-to-back. So that's what we were training for. That's what I've been training for. Like, I've sparred 2 opponents, back-to-back. So I sparred one person, then they swap out for another fighter, and then they swap out for the same fighter, and it's just back and forth, back and forth. So I've done like 6+ rounds of that. But then my manager and everyone else told me that's not the case. You're not doing that. That's ludicrous. I was like, I'm down for it, but they were like, you fight first, and then I fight last as well. So I was like, it's kind of cool because gets everyone in quick, because they're like, oh snap, like KSI's the first fight. We have to see this. So get people in, see me fight, and realize, oh damn, yeah, KSI is about it. And then they see what I do to a pro boxer. So.
Okay, I know you've got a very busy day, so just a couple more, Jay. I saw you made some quotes yesterday about CONOR McGREGOR, so I just wanted you to touch on that, mate.
Yeah, I think for me, the main goal is Jake Paul. I want to fight Jake Paul. Like, I don't want to fight anyone else besides Jake Paul at the end, and that's the end goal, okay? So I'm going to, work my way up to fighting people to show that I'm better than Jake Paul, and then eventually get to Jake Paul. But then after that, I was like, I'll weigh up my options, see where I'm at, see what I want to do. And I was like, you never know, I might want to have a super fight with CONOR McGREGOR. Why not? Or Mayweather might want it, or, whoever. It's one of those things where once I reach that point, then I'll decide. But right now, my focus is on Jake Paul. And all these fights I'm doing beforehand, it's just building the hype for that Jake Paul fight. Building and showing everyone, increasing my highlight reel, essentially. Building and showing that I'm about it and that I'm serious when it comes to this boxing thing.
And you believe you would knock Jake Paul out?
Yes, I know, 100% believe that. Yeah, 100%. 100%. He will not be able to deal with me. Yeah, there's a reason why I'm called the Nightmare. I will smother him. and he will just not be able to breathe. I will drown him, and he will struggle. He will not be able to last when it comes to me. His output is too low. My output is too high, and I just work on that, and I'm just too good. I'm way better than him, and I just need to prove it, though. That's it. I can say all this, but if I don't show it, then it's not going to mean anything. So I'm going to let my boxing do the talking, and then once that's done all the talking, then it's like, all right, cool, let's fight.
I wanted to ask you about Misfits Boxing. Obviously involved with KSI, who's been prominent in his family's been involved in professional boxing for however many years. But yeah, just talk to me about the concept and the idea behind Misfits Boxing, which is now on DAZN.
Well, with Misfits Boxing, it's all about, you know, taking people who wouldn't normally box, or influencers, or social media stars, or rappers, or musicians who, you know, who aren't known for boxing, wanting to try out and get involved with boxing. We're trying to build that space because I feel like there's a gap in the market for it. I feel like, you know, when it comes to, I don't know, someone like me versus SWARMZ, like, you know, you're never going to get that on a pro boxing fight. They're not going to even allow it. They're going to be like, nah, whatever, get out. But with Misfits, we allow that to happen. And, you know, we allow people who, you know, do normal social media, who play the violin, box someone who does something completely different. With Misfits, it's in the word. Everyone's a misfit. And it's not traditional, it's not what you expect, but it's entertaining, bro. And that's why we've made it. We've made it because we want to create a space that the traditional boxing scene wouldn't allow. And I guess eventually, if we start doing the numbers, they're going to have to maybe want to accept it.
Okay, final question. You were very vocal on your social media about Anthony Joshua's loss over the weekend in Saudi Arabia, which I was at. Just wanted you to touch on that, and it felt like it was almost a dig at the people digging at Anthony Joshua from yourself.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of distasteful with how people were treating AJ. Like, AJ's done so much for the, you know, British heavyweight boxing scene, and for us to just, you know, shit on him while he's having a moment, I don't know, it was kind of unfair. And, you know, I did say beforehand, I think Usyk's going to win, but that's just because he's just technically better. He's just skillfully better. He has the amateur experience is just way more than AJ. AJ learned how to box when he was about 18, 19. Usyk's been doing it for years before that, and he just has so much more experience, and he just knows how to beat AJ. You know, styles make fights, and Usyk's style just works for AJ, whereas AJ's style doesn't, like, for Usyk, like, AJ just struggles against Usyk's style. And, you know, I think it's hard for him to be able to, you know, deal with Usyk. And it was a shame. Like, you could tell he was frustrated. You could tell he was angry. But I think there's no point knocking a man while he's down. You know, just be supportive and appreciate everything that he's done for the whole boxing scene. And then, just be happy that, cool, we're going to have, hopefully, a Fury versus Usyk, you know, a fight that everyone's excited for. I'm very excited for. You know, I think Fury will win that, but, you know, it's going to be exciting to see what Usyk can do towards Fury, and it's going to just be a great fight. So, yeah, I think we need to be a bit more supportive in terms of all the boxers, because, you know, they're doing it, and it's compared to all these other people who are just saying it from the screens or saying it from the outside.
JJ, I appreciate your time. Wish you the best of luck. 2 fights, 1 night. No, but wish you the best of luck anyway. Shout out to Prime Hydration as well. Yes, obviously, heavily involved with Arsenal as well. Have you got a bottle here? Or? Yeah, it is. Jeez! Get that Prime, even though you can't get it anywhere, really. Not yet. All right, we'll catch you after your 2 fights on Saturday live on DAZN at the O2 this week.
That's it. See you.
Yeah, I put my dad in the street against a heavyweight.
I've gone back to the dad. I've punched him a few more times.
5 blokes outside my front door. You coming in?
One hell of a fucking story, so stay tuned.
Welcome, Team Everlast, to the Team Everlast Fitness app. Download the Everlast Fitness app and find your greatness within.